Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just a little less than 2 months away from its official release by director J.J. Abrams, Disney, and Lucasfilm that is all set and ready to answer many of the burning questions from The Force Awakens that were not answered in The Last Jedi. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one of the big exciting elements of Episode 9 is how J.J. Abrams is going to be introducing many different pieces of Jedi, Sith, and Force lore that's going to be used as a way to benefit the characters of Rey and Kylo Ren in this story in different ways. And I think that's going to be by far the driving force for the hype of this movie, not just the fact that Palpatine is back, but also the way that J.J. Abrams is introducing new types of lore, basically using The Rise of Skywalker as a foundation to create new Star Wars lore as we head into the new expanded universe that's actually all set and ready to begin in 2020. Now, on top of all of this, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that shot descriptions consisting of a sequence where it's explained that Rey is said to be traveling to a place called the Lost City, that is said to contain many ancient Sith and Jedi ruins that hold secrets to the dark side and the light sides of the Force. It's explained that during this scene is when Rey makes her way through a series of catacombs that leads to the Land of the Forbidden that is said to be a place full of ancient Sith statues and structures. This is where Rey begins to hear dark side whispers reaching out to her that lure her to the interior of a large Sith temple that is described to date back to the Old Republic era. It's explained that in this scene, Rey comes across a large Sith shrine that stands around 500 feet high that is said to have tons of ancient Sith text written on the bottom that also includes the name of this Sith Lord that fought during the Old Republic era. It's explained that the name of the Sith Lord goes by the name of Darth Rillar, the Sith Lord who was said to have discovered the ability to create a dark side double of himself, which was very similar to Luke's Force projection technique. However, this power would not take a toll on the body of this character like how it did for the character of Luke Skywalker, since Darth Rillar used the dark side of the Force to manipulate this power. It's explained that in the scene, Rey takes a glance at the statue while reading an ancient book of some kind that translates to the text. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, this statue is said to be hundreds of feet tall, which only reminds us exactly how deep the Lost City really goes down below the surface of this unknown world. Now, this unknown world, we're still not quite sure exactly what it's going to be called, but it is placed over in the Outer Rim, and it's actually said to hold a lot of ancient cities, a lot of tall structures that range in different heights. This by far is the tallest statue that we have talked about that is literally like a skyscraper. Now, when we think about Episode 9 here, we've seen, of course, a lot of examples by JJ of what he's really trying to do in The Rise of Skywalker. If we look back at statues, right, we've seen a little example of this with the Jedi statue that we saw in Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. That seems like that was also very, very tall, and you can only imagine one that's larger than that in, of course, The Rise of Skywalker that Rey's going to look up at. But inside and on top of all of the structures and on top of all of these different statues that are placed within the Land of the Forbidden, all of the ancient text is actually said to be written on these statues that literally give an example of exactly who they were during the Old Republic era. Now, what's really intriguing about all of this is that this particular Sith Lord that goes by the name of Darth Rillar, and it's a very interesting name. It sounds Star Wars-y to me. It kind of sounds like an ancient Sith Lord name if you guys had to ask me. The fact that this Sith Lord is the one who discovered the ability to project a dark side double version of himself really brings us back to Star Wars Dark Empire, where Luke Skywalker was able to use that ability by use of the dark side without it taking a toll on his body. And also, it kind of gives us a little bit of a nod to what Luke did at the very end of The Last Jedi. However, in The Last Jedi, the way that he used it, it took a toll on his body. Now, Darth Rillar, this is of course yet another character that J.J. Abrams is going to be experimenting with. Again, he's using The Rise of Skywalker as a way to introduce new Star Wars lore that we have never seen before on the big screen. We are talking about new Sith Lords, new Jedi, and of course new characters in Legend that are going to be used as a way to introduce them in the new expanded universe in the future, which could very well fall directly in line with how Disney and Lucasfilm want to explore the origins of the Jedi and the Sith in future films, as well as the Old Republic era. So The Rise of Skywalker is basically being used as a film in order to really make it like the foundation of new Star Wars lore, right? So this particular scene takes place in the Land of the Forbidden. We've actually talked about this for a very long time now. It's said to take place in the second act of the film, where Rey goes on a personal mission of hers, where she's actually looking for new secrets related to the dark side and the light side of the Force that's going to inspire herself in order to move forward. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.